think that there are, as time goes on, people are going to bubble up through the organization to be able to bring this on. But that ties into my passion, which is helping entrepreneurs and especially helping baby boomers to be able to identify and to pursue their purpose. That they're able to get to the first page and the first rank in Google because they're in there all the time engaging with the crowd, whereas the big companies don't have that kind of interaction with their employees.
That's a very telling remark, actually, because in many ways, semantic search does away with the technical layers of marketing and traditional digital marketing we did in the past. And it breaks completely with the tradition we have had of scaling things and dressing them up, which is where we've been going for the last 200 years. It takes us back to the village square. And if you go back to the pre-industrial age village square, when you get onto the village square and you want to buy something, what do? Well, you go to the person you know, and they probably know you. And because they know you, they're unlikely to give you substandard goods, and they're unlikely to rip you off because they work through word of mouth. So if they do that, they're basically hurting themselves, and they're not really making enough from you to justify their doing so. So they tend to give you the best service possible because it's good for them, and it's also good for you. And here you work in alignment. What is good for them, or rather what is good for you, is also good for them. If you don't know that person, however, what do? You go to somebody whom you do know and you say, listen, what I want to buy is, whatever it is. It could be a new set of horseshoes for your horse, or it could be a brand new sword so you can go and kill your neighbor, for instance. So you say to your friend, where can I get a really good set of horseshoes or a really sharp sword? And, your friend tells you, hey, you go to that person and tell them I send you, and, they're really cool. They'll really help you out. And that's how you did business in the past. And in that setting, really what rose were two things. There's value and quality. Value in terms of what you valued, and quality in terms of what you actually received. And the same things now come into play now on a global level, on the web, digitally. So basically, and here's the great leveler. We hoped the internet would have been the great leveler, and it wasn't. But now we get into semantic search, we get into semantic web, and actually that is the great leveler, because when you now have a signal which is unique to you, when you do a search, for instance, and the information you find, the product you find is unique to your search and your particular needs, then what is really important is this transaction which you enter with that person or that company on one-to-one, and what the value of the transaction is to you. So a person who has the quality and they have the word of mouth will actually be able, a small operator will be able to work on as big a stage as the web, as a big company, on the same level now. It doesn't matter if you have a team of 10,000 people doing your bidding, or some guy working from your back bedroom, for instance. What really matters is, can you generate the right social signals? Can you convince your public that you are the real McCoy? Can you consistently deliver value to those you actually transact with? And if the answer is yes to all those things, that's it. You're onto a winner. And it doesn't matter, if you are huge or very small. And that is very empowering. It's also very challenging, obviously, because, as you said, large corporations are not used to working this way. They've been used to throwing money and manpower at problems and thinking, okay, that's all it takes to actually solve them. It doesn't anymore. You've got to go back to the drawing board. You've got to say, is my quality up to standard? Does it meet the expectations of my public? Do I engage with them and let them know that, hey, I value them as customers instead of seeing them as numbers which give me dollars? And these are hard questions to answer. They require a lot of soul searching, which again is not something large corporations get into, even smaller ones, really. It requires a lot of real thinking in terms of their sales teams, in terms of their people, because if you need to connect at that level on the web, then you need to understand, how do you do it? How do you break down your content to get that kind of interaction? How do you present yourself to show that, hey, you are people first and a company second? So that's the kind of thinking that's actually required now at a business level.